Hello, everybody, and looks like I'm not sharing the screen slides anymore. Yeah, cool. This is going to be better. Once again, hello, everybody, and welcome to this fourth session of. Just gonna check this one. Yeah, cool, better. So welcome for this session 4 of 2022. We skipped the last one before, so we could come back with you with some great things to announce and present. So this is the fourth session of the public OSS demo. And right now, moving on to the people who are going to speak today. So I'll be able to be your host. Unfortunately, Christian won't be able to be with us. He got some bandwidth and internet connection issues. Always happens at the last minute, right? But I will be really happy to come with Hugh, with a contributor on the horizontal migration project that we're going to talk about today. And also Thomas, core maintainer, will talk about PHP 8.1 compatibility, and Marco Salvatore, who is also a tech evangelist and a contributor. Today, so among the demos that I just mentioned below, I'm going to, as usual, give a little reminder about these event rules. Then we've got some pretty cool project news, the release of PrestaShop 1786. I guess this is no big news for you, everybody saw it. We've got 2 new roles introduced into the project. I will talk a little bit more about this. And we have welcome, it was in April, I believe, because yeah, it's been 2 months since the last demo, a new maintainer, Daniel Hashafek. His GitHub username is #talks, and I'm quite sure you probably already saw one of his contribution of his message because he's a really involved contributor and now maintainer, and he's really involved on the new PrestaShop theme, Hummingbird. So just as mentioned, the little event rules, always the same, but it's important to mention them again. Please use the chat to ask questions. Well, the video stream is a little bit delayed, so if you write something now and we answer now, you will only get the answer in a few seconds, but we'll deal with that. This event is about the PrestaShop open source project. There's also a PrestaShop company, but this topic is not the PrestaShop company is off topic for today. This event is public and recorded, obviously, because you're watching this live on YouTube, and you will be able to watch the record later or show it to people if they want to. We will also publish an article with a summary and the time slots to join immediately when something. So if later you want to watch again a part, it will be easy for you. And every participant, both of us and the people in chat, must abide by the code of conduct of the PrestaShop project so that everybody is in a safe and feel confident in this place to discuss and contribute. Right, so project news. PrestaShop 1786, it was released like in 2 weeks ago. I was release manager for this one. And there was actually like 22 pull requests inside it, I believe, but plenty of improvements, 6 bugs and regressions, including 2 major, really impactful, I believe. So it's really a nice release. We're really proud about it. And I'm quite sure that everybody here has already upgraded to it. Then some updates about new roles that we've been able to introduce into the project. We introduced them. All of the maintainer group had to vote a little bit to discuss about all of this, but we were able to agree on this. So now in the projects, we have scoped maintainer. It's just like regular maintainers, but on a dedicated scope. Like, for example, it could be the theme, could be a Docker images, could be DevDocs, for example. Now we only have 1 for now. Maybe there will be more later. And we have committers. We don't have yet committers who have joined the project. I hope this is something that we will see soon. It's someone who is able to help reviewing code contribution and are able to merge them when they've been accepted and verified by maintainers. So it's a role that has a little bit more, less responsibility than maintainer and less pressure too. And it's for the people who don't want to go the full length of the maintainer scope, which is quite a big scope and there's a lot of responsibility, but still wants to help the project anyway and have proven they can do it. So maybe there will be some committers by when we host the next demo. I hope so. For scope maintainer, well, we kind of created the role because there was someone who wanted to join the project as one. It was Daniel Hashlafsex. I really hope I am pronouncing his name fine. It's someone who has been contributing for already 1 or 2 years on project. You probably already discussed with him because he's really involved on a lot of topics. He is especially fond of topics related to performance for user interface, merchant experience, and SEO. And so now is a scope maintainer. So now his scope is a Hummingbird theme and a classic theme, and also quite everything related to front end. But he also a lot of great insights about the backend stuff, about other things, and merchant interface. So we are really, really happy to let him aboard the ship, and it's really a pleasure working with him now. All right, moving on to the demos. First, there will be an update of the horizontal migration by myself and Hugh. So I'm going to let Hugh join me. Hey, Hugh, I will do the first part, then you can take over, right?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Thanks.
So it's us again, because if you remember, we already presented you the horizontal migration project and status. It was in February or March. I must have been March, because our demos are always were offset by one. So it was already us at this time. And we come back to you today because we have almost reached a major milestone, and we want to give you an update about this. It's little bit a repetition because I'm reusing some slides I have already used 3 months ago, but I think it's already great to remind everybody about the context because yeah, it's been 3 months and maybe you totally forgot about all of this. So the PrestaShop Symfony migration started in 2015. It's already 7 years. It's been a long time. And the objective was to replace PrestaShop in-house web framework with Symfony. And today, with the horizontal migration process, we want to change the process because we want to be able to deliver gradual improvements in all the back office, while the previous process was delivering improvements in one page at a time. Something I wanted to clarify because maybe it was not clear when we announced this. The final goal is still the same. We still want at some point to have a PrestaShop with Symfony, Twig, CQRS, FarmVille. This is the final goal. It's not changed. What's changed is the path we want to take to go there. Instead of delivering these 5-item combination on one page and repeat, we aim with the horizontal migration to deliver them one of these items, so it would be like Symfony or Twig or CQRS on almost every page, because some pages it might not be possible or relevant. Then when we've delivered this item I mentioned above on every eligible page, we do this for the second, then for the third. While today's migration process is about taking all 5 items, PrestaShop, Symfony, Twig, CQRS, Form and Grid, apply the 5 of them on one page, then move to the next page. And we have kind of a roadmap. So I say kind of because we don't have a clear roadmap. We didn't act on something like this, but this is somehow the plan we are following right now. So we started with a proof of concept because we didn't even know if it was possible at the beginning, which was to migrate a listing to Symfony, but still use helper list, not replace helper list. And this is what we're going to present to you just after that. So this is item 1, and today we are almost done with this item 1. Item 2 will be migrate a back office form to Symfony and still use helper form. Don't remove it, just like we did for all of the other migrated pages. I guess the item 3 would be migrate all pages eligible to Symfony, and then probably Smarty by Twig. But this is already the future, and it's still not totally clear for us because we are still in the early process, in the proof of concept stage. Right. So, Hugh, I will now stop sharing, and
Yes.
if you have them, I'm going to add you. I use your screen.
Yes,
Uh,
it's
do you
perfect.
want Do you want to show the two pages next to each other?
Yes. Yes. Here. That's all.
So that's a really cool stuff, and that's what I wanted to present today. Oh, I'm going to remove the logo, so it's not on this. Okay, so right now you can see two pages. The they both look exactly the same, and when it's about the behavior, when it's about the interface, the rendering, yeah, they're exactly the same. But these are two different back office pages. One is the pages you've known for long, the legacy one. The other one is the migrated page. It's just Symfony. One page is legacy, one page is Symfony. Just you can't see it. You do you want to show a little bit the code, or maybe you want to go back to the slides?
I want to go back to slides, please.
Yep.
I will explain the code, but with some hidden
Huh.
items.
Stage is yours.
Okay. Thank you. I will explain to you a little of our new code item. In the admin controller namespaces, you will find all stuff for the controller migrating horizontally, like tray, configuration object, factory to create a new configuration object. Um, to add action to your page, you have to use header toolbar action, list bulk action, list header toolbar action, and list row action. All these actions need an array of configuration, the same as a legacy. So you can reuse your legacy configuration to migrate to with horizontal migration, and you just have to copy paste your configuration to integrate an action to a page. So it's pretty cool. And it was the same thing for the field from your list. You just have to copy paste the configuration and instantiate a new field class, and the configurations has to work. We just create two interface with the horizontal migration, legacy controller bridge interface and legacy list controller bridge interface. Sorry. The first one is used to identify controller migrate horizontally and guarantee module developer to find some methods from admin controller. So the old legacy, the legacy controller. These methods are add CSS, add JS, set media. We have already talked about this. And the second one, so legacy list controller bridge interface, defines some methods needed by horizontally migrated list. The methods are get position identifier, and the get identifier. This method are needed to filter your list, to order your list, to sort your list, and that's all. We have defined helper namespace. In this namespace, you will find all classes needed to initialize helper list bridge. The helper list bridge was an helper list, but adapt to work with Symfony. To use request and to work with the helper list bridge. Will be configured with an helper list configuration item. And the bridge make the link between helper list and the helper list configuration object. And we will find one last namespace, Smarty namespace. In this namespace, you will find classes to initialize part of the Smarty template, like header, footer, modal, because you see there is there are the same page, and so we need to instantiate the same blocks And to do this, we create a Smarty bridge. And the Smarty bridge return a response instance because the Symfony controller needs that. So now we are going to create an issue to fix all main review remaining. We just have to do the issue, and I have to create a bridge object which can be passed to hook. Now we pass the instance of controller, and we don't want to pass the Symfony controller, so we will create a bridge object that module can use in hook and all person can use in hook. And we will in this object you will find all needed property by module and with the same name as legacy to avoid to develop again the module. We have to change the way to initialize controller configuration to upgrade it to like this. The controller configuration can be private or protected maybe, and can't be updated in all our code. I have to replace some URL in template variables and remove a variable because this is not needed again. And in the next step, we have to validate the pair with QA. We have to merge the pair, I hope. Update the documentation with review adaptation, push the documentation, and try to migrate another list with the documentation. And next, like Mathieu said, create the way to migrate form with horizontal migration. That's all.
Hey, thank you so much. Before we go to PHP 8.1, I would like to see if I'm able to share the code because I think it would be really cool to show this to people. Let's see if I'm able. Yeah, cool. So just like you just, voila, too many just like you showed before, the two pages now we have, the legacy page and the migrated page. From a merchant point of view, they look exactly the same. Oh yeah, maybe there's one difference. When you are in debug mode, you can see the Symfony toolbar of debug below. That's the only difference. The layout in terms of HTML, the markup, everything is exactly the same. And I would like to show a little bit how it's different. So this is the legacy controller, just like you've known it for years. You know, you have the controller, then you have all the fields list for the listing, and then you have the bulk action, you have the different things available here, the toolbar title, all of this, it's what you're used to. And the page now it's been migrated. So the equivalent, it looks like this. This is the items that you just mentioned. You have a controller, extends a bunch of using traits, controller smarty traits. Here, it's the needed items for the configuration. Here, this is a controller Symfony action. Accepts a request, sends a response. Here, you can see all the items needed to use helper list. Then you have the filters, the action list, run the Smarty. And there you can find item of configurations that are equivalent to the previous controller. So it's really something that not definitely completely new. It's something that you're already very familiar with, but this is a Symfony controller and not a legacy controller anymore. So in a Symfony controller, you can use all of the features of Symfony, and you can, that's already really cool. And there's no chance for the mesh interview because, for years we've been doing the vertical migration, and we've been doing something that is supposed not to be done. We have been doing a refactoring plus a change of behavior at the same time, which makes it very, very hard then to validate we've broken nothing because the behavior changed. Here, we change the underlying code without changing the behavior. That makes it so much easier to validate that we have changed nothing in terms of behavior and to make sure we have introduced no bugs. So this should be really helpful. We hope so. Nothing to add, Hughes?
No, all is good for me.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to
Thank you.
move then to the next demo. It's going to be Thomas. So thank you so much, Hughes. I'm removing you now from stage. Welcoming Thomas. Stop sharing my screen, and Thomas, I guess you can share yours.
Yes, should be good. So I'm gonna talk if the slide can load. Why it's not loading? Okay, should be good. So I'm gonna talk about the PHP 1 compatibility in PrestaShop. And the first thing to say is that it's already done. So actually the developed version of PrestaShop is compatible with PHP 8.1. So that's a good thing. You can have the full detail of what have been done to make PrestaShop compatible with PHP 8.1 on this pull request. If we have a look at it, you can see it looks like a big PR because it has 90 file changed, but in fact, it's not that a big change. It's mostly deprecation that has been fixed, default value when a value is null, now it's an empty string, some stuff like that. But we have still a lot of BC breaks, but I will explain them in just a moment. So yeah, you can see everything that has been done here. If I get back here, so why BC breaks? So since PHP 8.1, a lot of methods have now kind of return type. It's not a real return type. It's what we call tentative return type because it won't return a fatal error if you don't match the method signature. It will only throw a deprecated. So that's the main difference. And if you look at on the right, if you try to make a class that implement the iterator interface, before PHP 8.1, you can just implement the method without any return type, and it will be completely valid. But since PHP 8.1, it will throw a deprecated notice. So what we have to do is to make those signature match the internal signature, the method signature. So what we should do is, but for this example, it's put mixed on the current method and void to the next method. And it will be completely valid with PHP 8.1. But the problem is mixed, for instance, is not compatible with PHP version below 8 because it was introduced in PHP 8. So what about those methods, those return types, sorry. So instead of putting the mixed return type, we can use an attribute. So attribute is native annotation since PHP 8. That will be interpreted as a simple comment on PHP version below 8, but as a native attribute, native annotation since PHP 8. So here, that's what we've done. That's what we've done on PrestaShop to make it compatible. We used the return type will change attributes. So now you can ask why we didn't choose to make that choice everywhere, so we would not have any BC breaks. But in the end, we'll have to do it anyway one day. So the sooner the better. And as we are releasing a major PHP version, we thought it was time to try to put as much as return type as we could. So that's the biggest change, I would say, that happened in this PHP 8.1 compatibility pull request. Another important thing that we had to do is to fork the Laminas code library. So Laminas code is a piece of code that is required by Symfony, but there is not a single version of this library that is compatible with the full range of PrestaShop. So from 7.2 to 8.1. There is a version compatible from 7.2 to let's say 7.4, and another version compatible from 7.4 to 8.1, but there is no single version compatible with the full range. So what we had to do is to fork the latest version of Laminas code, and everything that wasn't compatible with PHP 7.2 or above has been rewritten because it was mostly a syntax problem. So we just had to rewrite to make it compatible, and it was okay. So that's what we did, and then you can use this package on Packagist if you want to have a wider support of PHP versions for this package. And then some other changes. It's that we fixed a lot of deprecation brought by PHP 8.1. And as I told before, it's mostly native method like strpose that requires a string as argument. Before PHP 8.1, you could send null and it was treated like an empty string, but since PHP 8.1, it will throw a deprecated. So we had to manually check that the argument is not null and put an empty string instead if it was null. And the other thing, the important thing that we had to do is to make a PHP unit to raise the range of PHP unit compatibility from only 8.5 to 8.5 from 8.5 to 9.5. So we can pass the test for PHP 8.1. And that's it for me. So thanks.
Really cool, Thomas. Thank you so much. And well, I see we have plenty of time. I think maybe we can answer one of questions that was just into live. This one, I think you could submit a pull request on Laminas to not have to maintain this fork in the future. Did you try?
Yeah, I tried to do it, but I think there was a kind of a misunderstanding because we wanted to actually just host this LTS version on the Laminas repo because it made sense to us that the library would be hosted on the main repo. But Laminas told us that if we want to have this repo on his organization on his name on GitHub, we actually have to pay him to support it. So yeah, it was a bad experience, bad communication, I think. So we choose to host it on our own repo.
Yep, we tried to, but
yeah,
we didn't get the right answer, but we tried. All right, thank you so much. Before I forgot to mention it, I believe we wanted to have a demo also about Hummingbird's Puppet status by Daniel, but he couldn't make it today. So this is why we had to cancel it for today, maybe for next demo. Now I'm going to welcome on the stage Marco Salvatore. Thank you so much, Thomas.
Thank you.
And Marco, yeah, I believe I can see your screen, so I'm now going to share them. Thank you so much for being there, and the stage is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So I will show little improvement for the email alerts module. That is the module that sends email when someone make an order, a customer, or some product are out of stock, or some customer create a returns. So all starts from an issue that was opened 2 years ago. so much I would say. But if you follow the conversation on GitHub, the issue is the 23745. And if you follow the conversation, some people were involved and someone put some idea for the improvements. This issue was opened by Chinese Norris, that is, I don't know, a GitHub user, etc., and proposed to basically to have different email addresses for each settings. For instance, new order, different addresses, out of stock, different addresses, and returns, different addresses. Easy. So the previous behavior until the v2.3.3 is that you can enable or disable the setting, the new order, the out of stock, and the returns. And at the bottom, you will have a list of email addresses of the employee, of the administrator of the shop, and each emails will send to each setting. For each setting, for the new order, the modules send an email to each address. So for instance, I have different employee that will not receive the returns email or the out of stock email because they not manage the stocks. So the solution is to simply split the settings, and now the new behavior, since the v.2.4, I think there is a misspelling, but the new behavior is that you can enable and disable each settings, and for each settings you have the new text field that is the behavior of this text field is like the tag field, and you will specify different email address for each settings. So for instance, you have a new order to Susie Doe and out of stocks to John Doe and returns to another email or plus of one email. Another improvement of this module by Elmeyer, that is another contributor, is about the front. So when you are logged in this case I use John Doe account, and you request an availability for a product that is not available, you will receive request notification registered, and then if you come or you refresh or you come again on that page, you will see a message that say, okay, you will receive a notification when this product is available again. The previous behavior of the module in this case shows again the button, and you will submit again your notify, etc., etc. In this case you have the message, and then you will wait for the notification when the product returns in stock. And that's it for me. Yep.
All right, thank you so much, Marco.
Thank you.
First, I have to say that the GIF images are really a cool idea, and it's definitely something I should do too next time.
Yeah.
No, really.
Yeah, it's to avoid the demo effect.
Totally, it's the wow effect, amazing. And yeah, there was one message, but it's Italian, so I don't know if it's a question or if it's just a remark. I guess you can see it.
Yeah, no, it's simply glad to hear me. He's a student of the PrestaShop Academy, and
really cool.
also a developer from a partner agency.
And I believe, I already saw some of his messages on GitHub. So hello, Abramo. Really cool to see you today. So as I mentioned before, I'm afraid that we won't be able to host Daniel HFSec demo today because he couldn't make it. Maybe for next time. So I'm going to share my screen for the question and answer. Right now we don't have. If someone got some questions from now, we have plenty of time to discuss them, even something non presented today. Else, it's just going to be thank you so much and see you next time.
Meanwhile, we will wait for answer. I want to say that for the module, maybe the next step is to rework to make a I would say a rework of the module with the new features, with the new framework in Symfony maybe, and maybe give it a compatibility to the threshold that we have in the product sheet in the back office, because at the moment you can set a different threshold for the single product, and in that case the email of autostocks will be sent to all employee. So there is like a conflict with this module and the core feature.
Cool. You look really cool. And you're right, there's plenty of modules that at some time it's just sometimes a good moment to simply rework it, because start from a structure, then you add little stuff. At some moment you realize, okay, maybe it's time to put it already again, restart from scratch, so you can think of a better structure and do this now.
Yep, totally agree.
Right, there's a little question about cron jobs module tools. Is there any improvement for cron job tools? I believe, I'm going to check right now, but that the cron jobs modules has been archived. Is that no? I believe it was. No, okay, it's different. So if you check, I'm going to share this. If you check the GitHub repository for cron jobs, it has been moved to the PrestaShop company account, because now it's not anymore in the open source project scope. I think it was a decision by the product managers at some point. The idea was simply that, while they realized we had too many modules and that we could not take care of all of them, so they tried to find out which were the most essential for Machines developers, and this was not in the list. I believe it was announced on build blog. I do all of this by memory.
Yeah, probably. So, to answer to Zid, there are a lot of free services on the net. So if you don't have a cron job on your hosting, you can use a plenty of free services on search for it on Google.
And the cron jobs module is still usable. It's not in the PrestaShop organization anymore. Now it's on the PrestaShop company organization, but it was on the core repo to begin. Okay, my mistake. I believe it was at some point the org and then moved, but it's still usable, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, cool. I didn't see, sorry about this. Christian was about to join us. Hi, Christian.
Great.
Put you back.
Hi, Christian.
Really happy to see you could make it through the internet warfare.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Because I'm not sure about my, tech stuff today.
Yeah,
clear and loud.
All right. Okay. Maybe too loud. Okay. So I wanted to try one thing today, because, as you might all know, we have some demos prepared for the event, but there are a lot of smaller contributions, but also important for the project that we would like to show you. So I wanted to show you a couple of pull requests that I think are really cool, and I would like to mention them today on our demo. So maybe I will share my screen with you,
and we can give you the stage fully.
No, you can stay with me, guys. Yeah, sure. Okay. And you see, I wanted to share my screen. Unfortunately, my browser doesn't allows me to do it without restarting it. So I will be back in 5, and I will present you the nice to mention prerequisites. So stay tuned.
See you soon.
Yeah, you are here.
Pablo, I believe Pablo said he could give us a few updates with PrestaShop V8. When I come, Pablo. Hey, okay. Nice to see you.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here again. Yeah, we should spots.
You are at the same place of Christian.
Yeah, because he had to go away after this part. Okay, so I thought it was this was a good time to speak about what is going to happen next for PrestaShop 8. Now that we are approaching feature freeze, so we still have 1 or 2 PRs waiting to be merged, so that we can call PrestaShop 8 finished in terms of features at least. So regarding that, there's 2 things. The first one is a final change for PHP 8.1 compatibility in the installer, I believe. It's a minor thing. And the other one is regarding the feature flags feature, so that we can switch from the new and the old product page instead of having both side by side. So once those peers are merged, what's going to happen is what we call the feature freeze. Once we enter feature freeze, we stop adding new content into the version. There will be a phase where QA is going to analyze the branch and try to find as many bugs as possible. And then when we will classify those bugs, and depending on the number and the severity of those bugs, if there are no blocking bugs, those are the bugs that will prevent someone from testing PrestaShop because it's not working. For example, you can't log in, then you can test it. So of course, that's a blocking bug. But hopefully, we don't have any of those bugs in the development branch. So after a couple of weeks of testing, we will assess the state of stability for the developed branch. And we will build a beta, a public beta that we will publish once we know if we have these bugs or not. We'll publish that beta, and same as we did on the previous releases. This will be a 1-month long public beta where we encourage everyone to test their modules, their shops, their themes with this new version, and to submit any issue that you encounter during this test. And depending on the number of bugs that are submitted and their severity, we'll find some time to fix them. And once they are fixed, or that we consider the branch stable, we'll release release candidate, which is gold as much as we are concerned. But we always give the community a week or 2 to submit final bugs, and if no severe bug is found, then we can release the final version. So we expect that the whole process takes about 3 months. It can take longer if there are many bugs found. It might take a little less if no bugs are found. But based on our experience, 3 months is the bare minimum. So we are looking at a best scenario around end of August for a final release. That makes it a beta around end of June, more or less, depending on the bugs. So stay tuned, because this summer we will have stuff for you. Let's hope everything's going to go well. Oh yeah, and I have a final message about this. So it looks like we won't be able to deliver a final product page in PrestaShop 8. This is because the migration took longer than we expected. But it's still available for people to test and to give us their feedback. And some people asked me recently why we are pushing to release, even though the page is so close to being finished. There are 2 reasons for this. The first is that we promised that we would deliver versions every 6 to 9 months. We are already a little late on that schedule, and everything that has been already done or fixed in the develop branch isn't available for merchants as long as we don't release. So if we push the date, everything that's been merged for a year now will have to wait more time to be put into the hands of merchants and developers. That's the first reason. The second reason is that by experience, we know that pushing the date for a release, it's a bad idea because you start by pushing it for like 1 week, then it becomes a month, then it became 6 months, and then it becomes a year. We had this experience in 177 with the order space that we were committed to delivering in that version, and that meant delivering 177 1 year later than the date that we were originally targeting. And we don't want to do that anymore. So right now, what we're doing is that we're setting a more or less fixed freeze date where we stop adding new features, and everything that is not done by that date won't be integrated for everyone on that version. But that doesn't mean that we can't merge code. We're changing our strategy in regards of that using feature flags. So the code is merged, but as long as the feature is not stable, it's not activated by default, so that we can deliver anytime. Of course, this gets some being used to, and we're working on getting better at that. And obviously, not all changes can be put behind feature flags, but I hope that this will allow us to release more often. And who knows, maybe a couple of years from now, we will be able to deliver once a week or once a month. That will be really great. So if Christian is back, that would be a great moment for him to come back.
I'm
there you are.
Welcoming again Christian, and I hope the computer is going to be kind with us.
Yeah, I think I can start because I think you saw my screen right now. And we have on the screen another pull request from Marco, which adds a new link to the PS social follow module. This was also highly requested by the community to have a possibility to share the link via Discord. So Marco proposed a change to implement this feature. As you can see, it has been matched already to the module, so I think it's planned for 2.3. Another big thing that has been merged recently is the new version of PS Cash on Delivery module. It has been a great work of Matthias, if I recall correctly, that he completely reworked a module, adding a couple of new features, a ton of bug fixes. So if you want to use cash on delivery in your store, you should definitely try with a new version. V2 should be live in a few days because it has been merged half an hour ago. So it should be live in a day or two. Another pull request that I would like to mention is a nice bug fix from PrestaWorks, that he fixed an issue, a long time issue, because this issue is from 2018, that this was an issue that were creating ghost cards in your PrestaShop installation, PrestaShop store. Basically, every person who visits your store creates a new card in the system. This was not that was not an expected behavior, so I think Daniel from PrestaWorks fixed it. So big thank you to PrestaWorks for this bug fix. Another smaller but also important pull request is from Amazing. I think it's a popular. This is a popular author of the modules. So he fixed that problem with regarding SEO on products such as new products, best sales, prices drop, and so on. So following the best practices for SEO, he added the page number if you follow the pagination links in your on your list of the products. So if you visit the second page of any controller, like for example second page of the prices drop, you will don't see a standard meta title, but meta title which is set by default plus a page number next to it. So it's good. It's a good improvement for SEO. Another SEO improvement is coming from PrestaWorks. PrestaWorks added missing canonicals on some controllers, which is also a long time an issue that has been reported a long time ago. So I see PrestaWorks is trying to clean our backlog. So thank you very much, PrestaWorks, for your work. I'm sure that SEO people will appreciate fixing missing canonicals on subpages. And there's more. There is, for example, a pull request that fixes wrong behavior related to out of stock label that has been introduced in 177, if I recall correctly. This label was displayed also with the stock management disabled. So we have contributor who worked on this bug fix, and from 178 it has been fixed, and there will be no more out of stock label if you don't use the stock management system, and you basically don't have stock in your store. Another example of great contribution from our community is one contribution from Mikhail, who decided to make order settings for multi-store compatible, following the work of Matthew, who implemented a new mechanism to add checkboxes to the page. So right now you can configure multi-store behavior by going to the order settings pages, and it has been merged in April, so it should be live in the next major version. So I wanted to thank you for the for community for the work, and as you can see, there's a lot of smaller features that are maybe not that big to show them as a separated demo, but we would like to present you with these contributions, because I think it's important to know that project is actively improved, and we have a lot of great contributors. So big thank you to contributors, and yeah, I think we will try to come back next month with more demos like this.
Yeah, and big thanks to you, Christian, who took the time to choose this one, took the time to understand them, so you can really show them. It's really cool, and yeah, I think everybody here can agree it was really nice from you to do this. So great community and great great maintainer like. Right, we did plenty of things, and we discussed plenty of things, almost 1 hour of content. I guess that's okay for now, and I see no more questions. So thank you everybody for this cool session, and I hope the next one is as cool as this one, right?
Let's try.
I hope. Yep.
And very nice t-shirt, Christian. I guess it's Hacktoberfest wine, right? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
See you everybody.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Thank
Bye.
you. See you.